Okay, let's jump right in. If you're serious about learning English, you don't need more apps or more hacks. What you really need is a system, and that's exactly what we're going to build right here together.
So, if you're trying to learn English, does this feel familiar? I mean, it's like you're just drowning in this ocean of apps and books and online courses. It's so easy to feel completely lost before you even start, right?
Yeah, on one side, you got this super dense academic research, and on the other, just a mountain of textbooks. It is classic information overload. So the big question is, how do you find the actual useful stuff in all of that noise? Well, here's the secret, the real secret. Effective learning isn't about trying to consume everything. No way. It's all about building a smart, structured system. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We'll break it down into 3 core pillars. Okay, first up is pillar number 1, building your foundation. Think of this as the absolute non-negotiable starting point. This is the what you need to learn. We're talking about the core grammar and vocabulary. This is the bedrock of the entire language. It's kind of like building a house, you know? You wouldn't start with the fancy windows or the roof, would you? Of course not. You'd start with a solid, concrete foundation. And in English, that foundation is your grammar and your vocabulary. If you skip this part, trust me, everything else you try to build on top of it is just going to crumble.
So to get that foundation right, let's look at one of the best resources on the planet, the In Use series from Cambridge University Press. Seriously, they are fantastic at breaking down these core concepts.
And a perfect example of this is irregular verbs. I like to think of these as the rebels of the English language. You know, instead of just following the rules and adding ed to make the past tense, they're like, nah, I'm going to do my own thing. So, for example, you don't say I seed it, you say I saw it. You don't say I goed there, you say I went there. And then you have some that just don't change at all, like shut. Getting a handle on these isn't just about being correct for a test. This is a massive step toward actually sounding natural when you speak.
And it's the exact same story with vocabulary. Please do not try to memorize the entire dictionary. It just doesn't work. Instead, start with these high-frequency, everyday topics. Why? Simple. Because when you master the words you need for your actual life, it builds momentum and makes the language useful from day 1. All right, so once that foundation is in place, we can move on to pillar number 2, mastering the details. This is where things get really interesting. We're shifting from the what to learn to the how, as in how the language actually sounds and flows when real people are talking. And to kick this off, I've got a question for you. What do you think is the single most common sound in all of spoken English? Here's a hint. It's a sound that, for some reason, many learners are never actually taught. The answer is the schwa. The schwa. It's that little relaxed, unstressed sound that is literally everywhere. It's the A in about, the E in taken, the O in lemon. I'm telling you, once you learn to hear it, you can't unhear it. It is the secret sound of natural, relaxed, spoken English. And this isn't just, a matter of style. It's literally baked into the physics of the language. Linguistic research actually shows that the entire rhythm of English is defined by how we use these unstressed sounds. It's a core feature of how we talk. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that focusing on one tiny little detail, like the schwa, can have a massive impact on how you sound. It's literally the difference between sounding kind of robotic and sounding natural and fluent. It is one of the fastest shortcuts to making your English sound better.
Okay, that brings us to our final piece of the puzzle, pillar number 3, creating your study plan. This is what I call the meta skill. It's not about what you learn anymore, it's about how you learn. This is where you take control and become the architect of your own success. So, drawing on expert advice, here is a super simple but really powerful 3-step plan. Step 1, define your goals and be specific. Don't just say, I want to be fluent. Say, this week, I'm going to learn 20 new words. See the difference? Step 2, keep yourself accountable. And step 3, and this one is absolutely critical, get personalized feedback.
So why is that feedback so important? Well, think about it. A good coach or a tutor doesn't just show you what to do. They watch you do it and stop you from going off track. They catch your mistakes before they become permanent bad habits. There's actually a word for this in linguistics. It's called fossilization. That's when a bad habit gets so locked in, it's almost impossible to fix. We want to avoid that at all costs.
Okay, so
Those are the 3 pillars. Let's put it all together now and see what your first step really looks like.
So here it is, the whole system. You start with your foundation, the grammar and vocabulary. That's the what. You add in the details, the pronunciation and natural flow. That's the how. And you tie it all together with a smart strategy, your study plan and feedback loop. This isn't some magic pill. It's a clear, sustainable path to getting where you want to go. And through all of this, please never forget the why. Why are you even doing this? The real goal isn't to ace a test or to finish a textbook. The goal is to connect with people, to share ideas, to hear their stories, to tell your own. That is the real prize. So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. Forget about the big, scary word fluency for just a minute. Looking at the system we've just built, what is one small, tangible, achievable goal that you can set for yourself starting right now today?